getting you details of the Kashmiri Pandit who has been killed in the valley. These are pictures, in fact, coming in of the brother of Sunil Bhatt who has been killed. This is the brother who has also received injuries in that attack. Abhishek Balla, I believe, continues to be with us. I'll try and go across to Abhishek in a moment from now for more details on that story. This again is a targeted killing of a Kashmiri Pandit in the valley. The picture is of the victim's brother who has received injuries in that attack. There are sketchy details. Abhishek has been telling us that no group so far has claimed responsibility. But one person has been injured and one person has been killed by Pakistan-sponsored terrorists in this region.
जब हमारा वाक़ा हुआ मेरे भाई के साथ, मैं 4 बार ड्यूटी के पास गया, डीसी के पास गया। उन्होंने एक बार ही हमारी इनिशिएटिव बोला, अपने गांव में बैठो, उधरी मारो, उधरी करो अपना काम। इसीलिए आज हमें ये देखना पड़ा, पहले उनको लाओ, इनको यहाँ से दफा करो, फ्रॉम सर्विस करो डीसी और ड्यूटी साहब को। आज वही हुआ जो परसों हमारे साथ हुआ, आज इस घर के साथ हुआ। हाँ। उन्होंने कुछ नहीं, उनको बोला यहाँ हर जगह सीआरपी डाली, हर जगह पुलिस डाला, यहाँ क्या दिया हमें? कौन सी सिक्योरिटी है? यही सिक्योरिटी रखी हमें यहाँ। डीसी को बोला कौन सी सिक्योरिटी रखी है? तो हुआ है जहाँ भी हुआ, उन्होंने क्या किया? मैं जब हमारा वाक़ा हुआ मेरे भाई के साथ, मैं 4 बार ड्यूटी के पास गया, डीसी के पास गया। उन्होंने एक बार ही हमारी इनिशिएटिव बोला, अपने गांव में बैठो, उधरी मारो, उधरी करो अपना काम। इसीलिए आज हमें ये देखना पड़ा, पहले उनको लाओ, इनको यहाँ से दफा करो, फ्रॉम सर्विस करो डीसी और ड्यूटी साहब को। आज वही हुआ जो परसों हमारे साथ हुआ, आज इस घर के साथ हुआ। हाँ। उन्होंने कुछ नहीं, उनको बोला यहाँ हर जगह सीआरपी डाली, हर जगह पुलिस डाला, यहाँ क्या दिया हमें? कौन सी सिक्योरिटी है? यही सिक्योरिटी रखी हमें यहाँ। डीसी को बोला कौन सी सिक्योरिटी रखी है? तो हुआ है जहाँ भी हुआ, उन्होंने क्या किया?
Abhishek Balla is getting us more details on that. Abhishek, in fact, the brother of the victim there clearly saying that the security presence here is just not good enough.
Well, this has been a big challenge for the security forces on the ground. There has been a spree of such targeted killings in the last few months. You know, recently there was a case where a school teacher was also targeted. And, you know, these kind of killings are planned to send a message to ensure that there is fear and panic amongst the community. And a new trend of hybrid terror is something that is being closely watched by the security agencies. What this means is that this is not some big terror group like the Lashkar-e-Taiba or Jaish-e-Mohammed that will take responsibility for a killing like this. Instead, it will be one of the newly recruited terrorists, could be a C grade or a B grade terrorist, which in security parlance means is supposedly not a dangerous terrorist. But you know, this is being done to ensure deniability by Pakistan, to make it look as if these are local youth who are carrying out these killings. And in most of these cases, you know, small arms have been used for such murders. It's not an AK-47 rifle or some sophisticated weapon that's been used by these terrorists. And the idea is to instill fear in the minority community of Kashmir, which is essentially Hindu. And in the past, there's also been instances where outsiders have been targeted. So what that means is people who have come from other states. For example, in one case, a worker, a vendor from Bihar was killed, who was a part of this strategy. So this has been happening for the last few months now, and a big challenge for the security agencies. In this case also, it seems a similar modus operandi has been used, where this 45-year-old has been killed. His brother is also said to have sustained injuries and taken to a nearby hospital.
Abhishek is getting us all of those details on targeted killings in the valley that continues. There's been a sense of panic, there's been a sense of horror. when it comes to the minorities and the Pandits in the valley. Here the family members of the victim have been saying that there is zero security in this region, which is considered, like the former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Nirmal Singh, also said, the hotbed of terrorism. Here was an innocent man working on the fields and he was targeted. His brother has been injured. Abhishek continues to be with us. Any more news of the brother who's been injured? The picture of whom, Abhishek, that whom we put out for our viewers right now.
Well, that's right. The latest update is that his brother is also wounded in this attack. The nature of injuries are still not known. But it's important to note, Sneha, that this is an area in South Kashmir, Shopian, which has been a hotbed of terror. Places like Shopian, Pulwama, these are some of the places where, regular terror recruitment has been taking place. And that's been the trend for some time. And these are young terror recruits who are picked up by terror organizations to carry out these kind of terror attacks. And, before they are identified by security agencies, their job is to carry out this kind of an attack, which essentially is meant to shock the people, the minority community in particular, and it also creates a lot of panic for the security forces on the ground. And same kind of strategy, a modus operandi has been used here yet again, it seems. It's still not clear whether the security forces have been able to zero in on a suspect, but there will be a lot of intelligence, a lot of information that would be going around, and sooner than later the suspect would be identified.